Hello and welcome to the Jake and Josh podcast,
What's going on, everybody? A little zoomed in.
episode 3 so far this season. Um,
Yep.
so today's subject, it's just going to be Jake and I today, but for good reason. For good reason. There's
Yeah,
really,
because we got some real good stories this week.
yeah, I really don't think there's anyone else that we could have on that could really kind of express it better than us.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about high school. As you can tell from the title, Jake and I kind of, I wouldn't say kings of high school, but
But we did run this chart, and that's for sure.
well, we did run this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just for sure.
We ran Sandy High. And I would like to point out that we're already matching the number of episodes from season one of our podcast.
Yes, sir. We're already
So this
caught
is
up.
already an accomplishment of itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jake and I did this podcast back in school, back when we were in high school. I
Recorded off my MacBook in iMovie.
Yeah, exactly, like in my closet because I didn't want my parents to hear. Uh, and we had like I remember we had this one guest. Her name was Fiona, and I didn't know her at all. But Jake invited her to my house, and we talked about stuff.
Yeah, she was the first official guest.
Yeah, but it was a good time, and it's kind of be back. Yeah, it's good to be back
Hmm.
at it. So I have no problem saying it. We're both from St. Petersburg, Florida. We went to St. Petersburg High School.
Yeah.
Common misconception, especially with my friends here. This was not a private school. This was a full-fledged public public high school. It was.
Yeah, this was a public school. I will say that me and Josh were in a program,
Hmm.
the AP cohort. So, how
So
we really got to know each other well was that we were in a few select classes together all throughout all 4 years of high school
right.
with a
So
bunch of other people as well.
right. So the AP cohort, and we were kind of like the last year of it, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, they
Something
got
like
rid of
that.
it after us.
So the AP cohort kind of works as if us coming in freshmen, us 30 kids, maybe a little bit less than that,
Hmm.
came in and started taking AP classes right away, while most people had to wait until they were like a junior, I think. So
Yeah.
we hopped in and started taking AP classes right away. Tom, please don't do that.
Yo, Thomas. Whoa there.
Don't do that. But yeah, so we would hop in and we would take all these AP classes together as 30 students.
Hmm.
So it was really cool. Um,
Yeah, but the common misconception about, because my girlfriend always said this as well, is that yes, other people can take AP classes, but we didn't have a choice. We were basically stuck taking them, and we had our minimum amount of AP classes that we had to take every semester. So how do you ban someone from the chat?
I just banned him right now.
Sorry, Tori.
Yeah, we won't have
So
any of that.
yeah, I'd like to start off, just talking about high school. I think it'd be kind of fun to talk about my first impression of you, because just remembering it, you were a lot shorter than everybody else in high school. You were a lot smaller.
You are not
You had
incorrect.
you had long bowl cut haircut freshman year, and you had a shrill voice. You had a higher pitched shrill voice, and I remember talking about you to my mom because you were a patient at the orthodontist that she
Yeah,
worked
she
for.
she definitely cleaned my teeth a
And
lot.
so I remember her telling me like, "Oh yeah, Josh, he's just always so small." And I just remember you in English class just always being on your phone, and our teacher would spray you with a water bottle just to get you off of your phone.
Yeah, freshman year was a dark time for sure. I definitely didn't have like many friends at all. Unfortunately, I didn't hit puberty until a mid junior year of high school, so I was literally in the 4 foot, like /5'1" area up until
Hey
junior
man,
year of high school with that with
it's
the
all
high
good.
pitched voice. I remember we would play Xbox together like sophomore year when we started becoming friends.
Yeah,
And
it
the
was from Call of
random
Duty.
friends you would bring on would always call me a squeaker. Uh,
That's just Xbox for you. That's just
I,
online gaming in general for
I
you.
thought I just thought that was really funny. Um,
We got 11 viewers right now. What's going on, everybody?
but also, Austin, just to touch on your comment, because like everyone does that at your school. What I not by just taking AP classes, like in general, us 30 kids would take every we would be in every single class together like almost the whole day. So we were like really
Hmm.
like a really small group of people. Not just taking AP
Yeah.
classes early, but taking the same AP classes at the same time with just our class. But moving
Hmm.
on, school was a bunch of fun. I'll ask you this question. Some people say high school is
Okay.
some of the best 4 years of your life. Would you agree so far?
I definitely would say that. I mean, senior year especially was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I know people don't always agree with that because some people hate high school and don't even want to think about it. But
Mhm.
I mean, me and you especially, man, we had a blast. Our all 4 years, yeah, but junior and senior year,
Junior
man,
and
we ran
senior
it.
year really was it was something else.
Yeah.
Starting with junior year, our
Uh-huh.
our first kind of on our own type adventures when we started doing being teachers assistants, right?
Yeah. And we did this a few times together.
Right. For senior and was it junior and senior year we were teachers assistants? Was that right? Or was it
Yeah, it
okay?
was both years.
So if anyone doesn't know what a teacher's assistant is, we would go be assigned to teachers slash office workers, and we would kind of just like help them out for that class period.
And we would get credits as an actual class for it.
Yeah. So we'd get like an elective credit. Now Jake and I would always um, do stuff together because not every like some teachers only need one, so we'd have to go for like the bigger jobs, like the jobs in the office that
Yeah.
needed multiple TAs.
Hmm.
um so start us off junior year, where'd we go?
All right. So we talking about library first?
Yes, the
I think that one
library.
came first. So yeah, the first we got assigned to be TAs for the library, and our job was to sit at a desk and charge people 10 cents a page to print something. And by charge, I mean that we had a bowl set up at the desk, and if they decided to throw their dimes in there, they would. If they looked at us and thought we were stupid, they would just walk away.
And that happened all the time.
And that was about it, though.
Yeah,
Maybe we put books back like occasionally,
we
but how
never
many
really
people are
had
renting
to.
books in a library
Yeah,
in high school?
no one went to the library. Like it was always like
Yeah.
really funny.
And I
But
remember us sitting on the floor playing our 3DSs when Smash Bros. 3DS came out. We
yeah.
would literally we'd go to class and we'd sit on the floor underneath the desk and play our
And
3DSs.
honestly, even sometimes ignore people that would come up to the desk. So
Hmm.
one of our jobs, of course, other than sitting at the computer and just like messing around and charging people, was to deliver the newspapers.
Yeah.
Right? So we had to go around school with this big cart with literally hundreds of newspapers and take them to like every class.
Yeah, and it reminds me of Harry Potter about how they have the map where they can see every single thing on the Hogwarts campus.
Mhm.
We'd be delivering papers, and we knew the fastest routes to get the papers to what teachers wanted them. And
Mhm.
we by the end of the semester, like we'd have our routes down, and like we'd be the entire school in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it was always like frustrating because I'm like, gosh, like I just want to play on my DS, right?
Yeah,
And it'd be like, hey,
yeah.
go deliver these papers. But Jake and I
God
had it
forbid these
like,
old boomers
yeah,
want
I
to
know,
read the Tampa Bay.
I know. It was silly. So the next year we TA'd in the like it was like the disciplinary office,
Yeah, it's where you'd go if you were either late or if you were sent to get a referral.
right? So we got to see all types of characters there, whether it be like
Yeah.
people like yelling at the office slash us if they were late,
Hmm.
or people that are
Yeah.
actually like got in like actual trouble and had to go talk to like the assistant principals that were in that office. So it was me,
Yeah.
Jake, and another friend of ours, Cody.
Hmm.
Um,
Who I've known since I was like 4 years old.
right, and then I became friends with him sophomore year. But
Yeah, and that TAing job was just funny just because of the pure fact that me and you would just sit on the thing. We'd sit at our desk and just do our homework. And the teacher obviously didn't like Cody because he had to file papers and he eventually received a C just for, yeah, we love Cody. He
uh,
received a C in TAing just for, yeah, he was, I guess the teacher wasn't a fan if you could even call her a teacher.
yeah, so Jake and I literally just sat at our desk, hanging
Yeah,
out,
and
talking,
wrote people up if they were tardy.
doing homework, writing people up. Kind of got a little power
Yeah.
trip out of it.
Yeah,
Making
exactly.
vines. We'd make vines all the
Mhm.
time in that class. And Cody, the whole year, literally filed papers. Literally the whole
Poor guy.
nonstop from start to finish would file
Just to get a
papers,
C.
like file referrals, and the teacher didn't like him at all. At the end of it, remember we got gift cards. We
Mhm.
got we
Oh,
got gift
man.
cards as gifts, and Cody didn't get one,
I
and he got a C, which is like the
I'm
best
surprised you remember
part.
the gift cards because I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Poor
Okay.
guy.
Um. Senior year. Moving on.
Mhm.
We were on this thing called Devil Vision.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of you probably remember your school news and you say, that's cringy, right? That's
If
like,
you even watch it at all,
yeah.
yeah.
You say that's where like the wannabe news anchors that are the the really cringy people are at.
Mhm.
And Jake and I kind of got thrown into it, if you remember that.
Yeah. That was basically our only option to get assigned an elective together.
Do you remember how we got into the relationship with the teacher that ran it?
Are you referring to our AP Psych class?
No,
Oh, no, I do know what you're talking about
about
because
the.
The Devil Vision office was connected to the library.
Mhm.
And so every second period, this teacher would go to the intercom to make the announcements to the entire school that Devil
Mhm.
Vision would be on Channel 3. And we would beg him when we were teeing in the library to let us do the announcement.
Yeah, exactly.
And the one time he let us do it, we chickened out and had our friend Alyssa do it.
And we
And I
got
just remember
yelled
him
at.
he barreled out of his office to us to the door and was, "You guys are done.
Yeah.
I can't believe you."
He ended up
And then,
coming around. He ended up coming
yeah,
around,
because
right?
months later he came back to us and basically inferred that we should totally join the Devil Vision crew.
Right. And so he actually like threw us in there. So he
This is
actually
about high school.
yeah, he actually
Fred's
like
take buddy.
threw us into the news anchor class. And then from there, Jake and I really tried to take like the back office positions. Like I tried to do the
Yeah,
sound. Jake did the
and I was
morning
the green screen.
PowerPoint / green screen stuff. Like, but kind of near the end, we started enjoying our screen time.
Yeah, and if you guys didn't know, this is where Jake and Josh Fridays got its name from, is that we ran the Friday program. And God, it is cringy when you think about it, just because we would dab on screen.
Yeah, we like at the end of our like news segment, we just be like,
Mouse watch.
but it was like so funny. Um,
Yeah, and
but
I have videos that I will post on our Instagram. So follow us at Jake and Josh Fridays on Instagram.
um, but nonetheless, w- after Devil Vision, after the show got produced, we'd usually kind of
Hmm.
sneak away into the back office and kind of spit bars, is what I'll say.
Yeah,
And this is kind of
yeah.
where the start of Jake and Josh Fridays, the album, kind of created itself, and kind of
Uh-huh.
this SoundCloud. Um,
Yeah, that's just where we screwed around,
yeah,
freestyled with our fellow friends in Devil Vision. It was a good time for sure.
yeah. So, but speaking of freestyling, we also did this in the back of our physics class, right?
Yeah. So coincidentally enough, the teacher of our AP Physics class was the teacher of Devil Vision, which is in hindsight, I'm not sure why we did that because he might not have been the best teacher. God forbid. God forbid. But
He was so
yeah,
bad. He was not a great
nah, he
teacher.
wasn't bald.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh is
No, they're
bald.
talking
Yeah,
about
he
me
might
because I'm
be.
wearing a hat. I just came back from workout, so I'm a little gross. Sorry.
Yeah, Josh is repping some bench.
But yeah, that was a good time. In that class, we had a bunch of projects.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's just that class in general. There's some good cringe there. Is the fact that we took the easiest way out of every single project
every
possible,
single time, and he was kind of
and
fine with it,
yeah,
like
I
a
mean,
little
the
bit.
first being that we had to make cars out of mouse traps.
Right.
And
To
so
try to
it's
teach you
kind of
like the
creative.
physics of it.
The way we went was we made basically a Lego car and
A
glued a
mousetrap.
mouse trap on top. So
Yeah.
when it would snap, it would launch the wheels forward. And then the next project we had to do was a catapult.
And all we
So we had the
did
genius.
Yeah, was
Yeah,
take our
we had the genius
mousetrap
idea. Mhm.
and add a bucket to it. Our same car still had the wheels and everything, and all we did was add a bucket to it, and that like worked. I think our funniest kind of experience of taking the easy way out of assignments was when we had to build a model rocket.
Yeah.
Me
Uh,
and Jake, I think it was just us two that built it.
Just
So that
us
built it. So what did we
in quotes.
yeah, what did we do
Yeah,
instead?
quotes around built because we decided to go to Walmart and get a stomp rocket.
And we just split the cost of a stomp rocket to get
Yeah,
our
so we paid
AA
about
class.
$4 each for a stomp rocket. And, come the day when we're on the football field trying to launch our rockets in the air and calculate, all the velocity and all this different stuff. These fellow classmates, they come through with these, 7 foot tall rockets that they spent days building and, probably a good amount of money just for us to show up with a plastic rubber stomp rocket
Yeah.
that we launched probably 12 feet in the air
Yeah, these
and
other
still
people are
got an
literally
A.
going 200 feet up with the parachutes and everything, and then ours were just like stepping on it as hard as we could, like jumping off of like trash cans.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay, so a huge part of high school, and this is kind of where my cringe comes in. A lot
Hmm.
of my cringe, and I feel like everybody's is like kind of around the homecoming, the prom
Hmm.
area of things. So,
Yeah.
Jake, you had the same girlfriend throughout most of high school, all of high school.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, walk me through you asking people to like her to prom. I'm sure she still
Uh,
expected something, right? You didn't just
she,
like
of
ask.
course, no. She's the kind of person that, yeah, she definitely would expect something. So I just went with the creative sign route
Hmm.
both times. One being like kind of like an inside joke with about whatever, and the other one was I actually took a Chance the Rapper poster and will you take a chance on me? She wasn't floored about that one, but I was really just trying to get Chance to retweet it, which she
Yeah,
didn't do.
which he did not do. I loved that. I
Uh,
love that. So
yeah, no, it came out good, but
my first time asking a girl to a dance was homecoming junior year. For this sake of the story, we're gonna call her Alex.
B word one.
No, gosh.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
so I was
gotcha.
asking this girl, Alex, right? And so we were kind of friends, and all of her friends were kind of coming up to me and they were hyping this up, like, "Oh, you need to ask like a girl." And I was getting really nervous because this is
Hmm.
like I get nervous talking in front of class, like, and when you present something to people, like you get scared, right? Like I would get really scared.
Yeah.
So, and she also kind of like Jake's girlfriend, she had expectations. Like she was really big on Twitter and Tumblr, so she's
Hmm.
seen all the really good ones, and she had expectations. So I, are conjuring up some ideas, and I had this really good one, right?
Yeah.
She loved Chick-fil-A. I worked at Chick-fil-A. So I was like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring her breakfast in the morning, right? And inside the box, I'm going to have this cute little poem, right? And it would be,
Hmm.
me asking her to homecoming. So I ended up
Yeah.
writing inside of the chicken mini box. I wrote, um, I know this is a chicken way to ask, dot, dot, dot. And then the hash brown box, it said homecoming question mark. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
I thought it was, she loved Chick-fil-A. I thought it really worked well.
Yeah. Of course.
But naturally, as all awkward stories go, it went like downhill really quick.
Yeah. I
Jake,
remember this.
yeah, Jake, I was texting him during this whole event. So I get to school early, I prep everything right, and I'm like, hey, I brought you Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, hey, I brought you Chick-fil-A. And she's like, oh, great. But she was like, she didn't eat it. And I was like, I hate everybody in this chat. Um, but yeah, so like she didn't eat it. She kind of just like held it. And I was like, "Oh yeah, you should eat the Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah.
You should eat the Chick-fil-A." And
And she
she's
just
like,
doesn't open it.
she literally like does not open it. And I'm like freaking out cuz I'm really trying to get her to open the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And she doesn't. She goes to class. So now I'm like a few problems. One, I look like a loser because now I'm not even
Hmm.
asking her in front of her. Um Two, I'm not even gonna get like my hug for when she says yes, right? Like
Yeah,
those are
that's
two
the
big
most important
problems.
part.
Two big problems. So the whole first class period goes by, not a text, nothing.
And I think I had her in the
Yeah,
math class that morning.
And because
And
I
I,
remember
I'm just kind of
texting you.
eyeing out, like looking out for Josh,
Yeah,
and
because
she's just like, yeah, she's not eating her Chick-fil-A, and I'm
yeah, and
like,
I'm
God
texting. I'm
darn it,
like, like, what's going on? Nothing's going on. So like, I'm like, oh my gosh. So I like nothing. Second class period, we start texting as normal because we text all day. Like, hey, good morning, blah 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 blah. I'm like
yeah,
wondering when she's gonna bring up the Chick Fil A. Literally like third class period, in the middle of nowhere, I get a text that says, "By the way, my answer is yes." Period. The most like awkward, like it was just so like I think back on it and I just like curl up a little bit because one, I didn't ask her in person, and two, like she was super awkward and didn't even give me the satisfaction of like saying like, oh my gosh, yes, like that was a cute idea, I wish I would have opened it.
yeah,
it
not even in
was
person.
it was oh, by the way, my answer is yes. Homecoming, super awkward. I don't even want to talk about homecoming itself, that was terrible.
Yeah, that's fine.
But one other time I asked a girl to prom, right? Prom.
Prom, yeah. So was this the same year, right? This is
Same
like what,
year,
5 months
same
later?
same year,
Okay,
different girl. I made the
from the
big
same friend group.
set from the same friend group. I made the mistake of kind of started talking to her 2 weeks before prom. Big.
Yeah.
That was an oversight on my opinion. Like on my part. I wasn't
Yeah, you
thinking.
guys suckered in.
So like, and she wanted to go. So I was like, last minute, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna put too much, like too much effort. I don't even want to go to prom. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna have my mom write out prom on a sign with the good handwriting, right? Um,
Hmm.
and nonetheless, I go and ask her. Keep in mind when I have a picture of it. It's
Hmm.
6:20 in the morning.
Hmm.
I'm like looking at the picture right now, and it like hurts me so bad. Hey Joe, it's good to see you
Yeah,
again.
put it up on stream.
Yeah. So,
For
and I
for
wanna,
those just tuning in,
I
Josh
do,
is telling about his prom
yeah, me asking this girl to prom.
proposal.
I do wanna say a quick thing about it too.
Hmm.
There was multiple pictures. All right. There was multiple pictures, and this is the one her mom chose to post on Facebook. I saw the rest of them. I looked
Uh-huh.
fine, and she chose to post this one on Facebook. Stuff has been blurred out for her safety, whatever.
Anonymity reasons, yeah.
Yeah, anonymity. So I'm gonna pull it
Mhm.
up real quick. Let's see where it is. Okay, so there's the picture. Let's see if I can zoom in on my face here. Um, yeah. So I just look like
Just
terrible.
a plain white poster board with
Yeah.
prom written on it.
As
God,
plain
look at
as
you.
it can
You look
get.
like a simp. You're literally simping, dude.
And like I said, there's so many other pictures to choose from. And her mom, I don't think she was a big fan of me because all she knew was like I was texting her daughter, right? So she of
Yeah.
course is excited this is the first time her daughter gets asked to prom. First off, she posts you just take a hit. I know that's what it looks like. I just woke up 10 minutes before. All right.
Yeah, this is like 6:30 a.m. It's still pitch black outside.
I know. So I ask her, right? She texts her mom. Her mom posts this photo on Facebook, and the caption is Josh didn't just learn my name that day. Josh asked this girl to prom. Period. She said yes. Period. Like it was like so awkward. All of my friends shared it. Um,
I've never seen the other outtakes. This is the only one I really have to go by.
the rest of her so fine, and this is so
Yeah,
bad.
you took a hit of something before, obviously.
Uh, now
Yeah, that's a funny one.
enough for my cringe. Jake has also had his fair
Hmm.
share of cringe.
Oh, I mean, yeah, another great story. Me and Josh, and as previously mentioned, Cody, we all had Spanish together, Spanish class.
Naturally.
And yeah, and our teacher, she was, I think, I'm not, she was foreign. She was from a Spanish foreign country.
Hmm.
And so English, wasn't her best language, but we got comfortable enough with the teacher to where we could get away with screwing around quite often in her
Right.
class, as we always did. And uh, as you recall, there's one day where I decided it would be funny to pull up a Facebook profile of somebody with a different name, or excuse me, a different person but with the same name as her.
Right. And
And I decided to show her. I was like, "Hey, is this you?" and she just, immediately got so visibly upset. I don't know what she thought I was just trying to
Like
show
she
her, I was
must have
joking
just
with.
got like a small glimpse of it or something. Because I remember, if
Yeah,
I remember right, it was just like her sitting on like a desk, like the profile. It was like literally just like a really plain picture of a fully clothed
yeah.
woman
hmm
with the same name.
And so she springs up and she goes right for the button where you can call, campus security. And I'm just like I've never seen any teacher press this button. Like, no way those work. And I'm just like joking with her. I'm like, oh, okay, it's okay, it's okay. And she's just like, no, I need you to get out of my
She,
class right now.
yes, like
And
upset.
yeah, and I'm like, what? No, I'm like, no, like, please, like, what are you?
I've never
And
seen
I'm sure
Jake's
enough,
face like so red and like panicky.
yeah. And by this point, everybody in the class is looking because she's like, I want you to get out. She's kind of almost yelling.
Yeah, she's
And
literally like
then
screaming at Jake.
sure enough, our high school's lead campus security comes strolling through the door and is like, what's wrong? And she tells him that, I upset her. And so I had to grab my backpack and go to the office that would later we would TA in.
Right. So
And I had to give sweet
what did
gifts.
she claim that you showed
So what I came to find out was that she claimed that I was showing her porn
her?
of the way she worded it, because like I mentioned, English wasn't her best language. She mentioned that I had porn of her, which
Right.
obviously wasn't true.
Mhm.
But
The
as
lady was
Josh,
fully clothed.
yeah, but Josh was still in the class as I got taken out. So what were the rumors flying around in the classroom?
So first of all, after Jake got escorted out of class by campus security, um, she starts bawling. Like the Spanish teacher starts crying, and I like everyone's dead silent. Everyone's like really feeling upset. Everyone's feeling bad, cause one like I was feeling bad for Jake because I was like my
hmm
poor dude didn't do anything wrong, and then I was also feeling bad for her because I'm like something's messed
Yeah,
up.
of
Like
course. Like
right,
I would never try to upset her
yeah,
like
because
that.
Jake would never do that. But so and then all the kids start talking because no one knew what was going on. I knew because Jake showed me the
Yeah.
picture of the lady sitting on a desk fully clothed before he even showed Miss Pagan. Whatever. And yeah, so I knew what was going on, but all these people were kind of like talking. They're like, "Oh yeah, like what did he show her?" And then this one lady was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I heard that she showed a picture of genitals with an STD on it. That was the going rumor.
Yeah.
That Jake
Somehow
found a
that I was
picture
showing,
of an infected no square and showed it to the teacher. So if I remember correctly, didn't get in too much trouble because
nah, because the vice principal actually liked me.
yeah, we were friends with her.
And a lot of like emails and calling back and forth with my mom, and there was it was also a big misunderstanding.
Oh,
And
100%.
what it came down to was that I didn't receive a referral in the end. They took it off my record,
Hmm.
but I did have to go and sit in
In school suspension,
the
right?
in detention, yeah, in school suspension for one period for being on my phone in class. That's what they ended
That's
up landing
what
on.
you got in trouble for, right?
Yeah, and it was just ironically enough, everybody's in there on their phones because they don't give a crap about that.
Right. Now I
And
I got in trouble in this class as well.
hmm
Not
somehow both
obviously
of us did.
not as severe, but I also got a referral. Um, my first and only referral, which also got wiped because I am friends with. We were good with whatever, but I got a referral for solving a Rubik's cube in class. Like I don't even know how that like makes sense. We were literally doing nothing in class. It wasn't like we were watching like a
Yeah.
video.
I mean, I'm guessing it was just more of the fact that you were always Rubik's cubing in a class.
Yeah, but like we weren't doing anything. And I got a referral. My only referral, like I said, it got wiped. But so she was kind of known for being hysterical, so no punishment was ever taken like too
Yeah.
seriously.
I apologized to her after, and she didn't apologize back to me.
Yeah.
But there's no hate for her, of course.
Mm,
15 viewers. What's up? What's going on? This is our peak viewership.
this is nice. Now,
Yeah.
another class that was a lot smoother with a cooler professor that ended up being a big sponsor for us later down the line was our
Mm-hmm.
history class, AP US history. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, Really nice guy. Um,
Mhm.
and what we would do in that class, similar to TAing, we would play Super Smash Bros. For the DS
Yeah,
all the time,
on the floor in the back of the classroom.
all the time. Um, Now he ended up being a real big friend of ours because he sponsored a club that I had, right?
Mhm.
Which you want to tell him about the club? Founding member
This
of the club,
the Rubik's Cube Club or the Sub Club?
the Sub Club.
The Sub Club. Yeah, I mean that was awesome. Was it that was our senior or junior year?
Junior slash senior. We were friends with them
Yeah.
like both.
So
So
basically Josh had the idea of starting a club in which every Thursday or so we would pick different places revolving subs, and after school we'd all go as a group and eat them.
now this would be any places, right? This would be like Subway. Sometimes we drive like an hour away.
Yeah, I mean there was Larry's Subs,
Hmm.
Subway, Firehouse,
All of them.
Seminole.
Every Thursday
Hmm.
we'd go to a different place.
Yeah.
And he was a big help for that. Now the reason I wanted to
Hmm.
talk about that class is because there's a lot of awkward situations that went down between myself and another student
Hmm.
in that class. Um,
Okay.
if you know what I'm saying, Jake. Um,
A little
this
confused.
is
Keep going.
related to I'm not gonna say this girl's name, but a
Hmm.
good friend of both of ours. And so we would always just kind of have this like conversation back and forth, like all three of us. And
Hmm.
then one day in class, she says, like, gosh, I didn't get good sleep last night. I need a
Mm.
massage, right?
Yeah.
Kyle knows this story in the chat. She says, I need a massage. And, we were really close friends. I was like, I'll give you a massage, like as a joke. Obviously, I wasn't going to give her one. Now, me
Yeah.
in my cringy high school state, and I don't really know where like, what I was really thinking. But in
Hmm.
my head, I was like, like professional masseuses wear gloves,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I wear gloves. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this hand signal of me putting on gloves so I can give her a massage, right? As like a joke.
Hmm.
Now,
Just the rubber
yeah,
glove.
just like this is the hand signal you would think of putting on rubber gloves. Now,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I tried to pretend my other hand was the glove. I really don't. This was all like really innocent, like honestly. But I ended up making this obscene hand gesture that I will unfortunately replicate, obviously as a joke. But
Yeah.
this was an accident. But I went to
Yeah.
go put on
So
the gloves.
you tell her I'll give you a massage and you do this
Yeah,
gesture.
I went, okay, here's the glove. And I was like, oh, yeah, let me give you a massage. And I literally do it with like two fingers, just like this. And I, like, as soon as it happens, like, her jaw drops. Like, Jake starts laughing, and I, like,
Yeah.
panic. I panic because I'm like, no, 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 no. And she was silent for like the rest of the day. And I felt
Yeah.
so bad about it and so awkward. Um, that one kind of hurts to talk about. So he
Yeah,
put
it's a
on a
little
glove two
that's
fingers at a time.
definitely some good
It was a
cringe.
mistake, Kyle. It was a big oof, big problem.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that was a little awkward. And just something that just, came into my mind was, similar kind of a story was that us two and that girl, we all sat next to each other in our junior English class.
Hmm.
And so for one of our bell works, the book we were reading had to do with taking different parts of people and putting them together. Bio engineering, the perfect person. And so our our bell work, I know you remember this. We had to basically pick of the best parts of famous people, celebrities, and put them together to build our perfect person of how we'd like to see ourselves. And so, this is junior year, the peak of Vine. If you guys are familiar or remember, I picked Nash Greer, and I picked Nash Greer's bright blue eyes. Zach Efron's abs, and the teacher, for whatever reason, she decides to go, oh, like Jake, go ahead and share who like what you chose. And all of a sudden, Josh looks over, and I'm just like vigorously, erasing my work. And yeah, there's Nash Greer on the screen, so you can see, his piercing eyes. And so then the teacher's commentating, and she, oh, and now he's erasing his work, and so nobody found out what I wrote.
I thought
So
that
that was it.
was literally so funny because he was
Either
like
way, it was
saying it as like a joke. But
yeah, of course, as if she would ever even know who that was. But
right. So now another so Jake and I, right, I like to drive in the point that I didn't go to a private high school because a lot of people believe I do. Or
hmm
did. There was a lot of all walks of life there. There was, the
hmm
really good IB students, and then there was people that would sell drugs.
okay, yeah,
Right? Um,
hmm
multiple times, probably like maybe on a hand I could count the amount of times I've witnessed drug deals. Um, and I know you have too, right, Jake?
yeah. I mean,
And they all kind of
we,
took place in the same area, which I thought was funny.
yeah, there was the infamous bathroom, first floor of the media building.
It was the most obscure bathroom,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, yeah. Josh walked in on a drug dealer once or
But
twice.
it's not about just like walking in. It's about like getting like stared at and then like told to like oh, you didn't see anything, like turn around, walk away
Mhm.
type stuff.
And you got to remember this breadstick, Poppy, in the chat. Yeah, of course there's drugs, but me and Josh especially, we didn't drink. We didn't really do anything like that in high school. We were pretty good kids. I mean, Josh doesn't even curse to this day. If
Yeah.
that's telling you anything. So, and plus, we both, while this wasn't a private high school, we both came from private middle schools. Or, I
Yeah.
mean, not even, or I
Uh,
came from a private school, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
But nonetheless, like so I had no experience with drugs like at all.
hmm
And
Yeah.
so seeing a bag of like coke really scared me a little bit. Really kind of scared me a little bit.
yeah.
But yeah, it was all in the same sketchy bathroom that was,
hmm
like really like weird. And it was like you'd always go into this bathroom and something like new would be on. Like there'd be beans on
Yeah.
the ceiling or like a half-eaten sandwich in the urinal. But it was always just like or like a beer can
Yeah.
in there. Like
There's
that's
the
where
there's the time that, me and you were taking a piss. Not together, but side by side. And all of a sudden, I think me and you were just joking about whatever, and all of a sudden, like this deep voice from the
you
bathroom
have the
stall
pass. It's
just
fine.
says, "Nah, it's okay." But they just, said, "F you, Josh." And so, me and Josh look at each other like, "What the heck?" We just scramble out.
I was scared. Like I said, this bathroom's a sketchy place. There's a lot of sketchy
Yeah.
characters, so I got out of there quick. I was
hmm
I was a little pansy. So
Yeah, that's a good one.
ended up being a friend of ours, but it was fine.
Yeah, somebody that sat behind us in the class.
But honestly, like I said, I think high school is literally a blast. Literally so much fun.
Yeah, we had a good time. There was a lot of cringe, dude.
There was
Honestly,
a
there was a lot of
lot of
cringe.
cringe. Like, and I just want to like Jake and I we were just talking about, we never really came in contact with drugs, like as in we didn't do them or like we
Yeah.
didn't drink. But like we still went to parties and
Mhm.
mainly for like we were the comedic relief for the drunk people,
Mhm.
honestly. Like it was a really interesting
Yeah.
time going to these parties,
Mhm.
not drinking, but still being a part of the scene itself. Anything
Yeah,
to
there was
share
some
on the
good
party
times.
scene?
I mean, there was the parties that we didn't get into.
I remember I
There was
remember
the after prom party.
homecoming senior year, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. It
That's the
was
party.
Halloween night,
Yeah,
actually.
it was Halloween
Halloween
night.
night.
I remember
Mhm.
we went to homecoming only for about 20 minutes because you were on court.
Yeah, I was on homecoming break.
And no, I did not lie about going to parties. My parents really didn't care because they knew I wouldn't drink.
Yeah, no, they really didn't care.
I was really kind of surprised, especially my parents not caring. But yeah, so we went to parties. Oh, I mean, we went to this party literally 20 minutes after homecoming started because Jake just had to like make a quick appearance.
Mhm.
Friends with the owner, like of the house, like pretty close friends, I thought.
Yeah.
Um, I went to homecoming with the girl I had a crush on, and actually, I don't even think I went to homecoming with her, but etc. So I
Yeah,
was
I don't
like
think any
stoked for
girls
like
came
this
with you to
party.
that party after.
Yeah, I mean they came with us, if you
Did they?
remember.
Okay.
Yeah, but like we didn't get in. I think long story
Mhm.
short, you kind of like
Yeah.
have I remember this picture of the guy that was hosting it like sweating, shirtless
Mhm.
outside like screaming at people. Kind of like, the typical like "Get the frick out! Get the frick out!" Like kind of panicking when you
Yeah.
realize like, "Oh
Somebody
my
clip that because that
gosh."
didn't sound like he said frick the first time.
Yes, it did.
Ah.
But like kind of like that panic of like my house is actually getting destroyed right now.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought, the parties
Yeah.
were really good. Actually kind of reminds me of this fun little clip of prom because we went to the after party of prom. It was a little more
Mhm.
exclusive, like you had to get the invite, if you
Oh
remember.
yeah, I do.
Um, so I took this girl from a different school. The
Mhm.
classic. She went to a different school. I
Yeah.
swear she exists. But
Y
no, I really took a girl
yeah.
from a different school that was actually friends with a lot of my friends. So we
Mhm.
went, and I was like, I was against drinking, of course. Um, and she was like, "Don't worry, like I don't drink," because she was trying to like, I thought she was trying to like date me. So she's like, "Oh, like, yeah, Austin, you know the one." um, yeah, I was she was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna drink, of course not." And we get to
Mhm.
this party, we start hanging out, and I walk in, she talks to her friends for a little bit, and she like approaches me, she's like, "Can I pull you?" So she pulls me aside, and she's like, "Hey, I know I said some stuff, but like, can I drink?" And then at this point, I'm like mad, because I'm like,
Yeah.
well, because one, like, I'm super like respectful, right? And I had a
Yeah.
crush on this girl, so I was like, I really want to, get a quick little smooch tonight. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, she's drinking. I can't kiss her. People are gonna say I like took advantage of someone. I was like, so no, I'm not gonna kiss her at all tonight. So
Yeah.
she really fricked me up with that drinking stuff. That sucked.
Mhm. Not to say that you didn't secure a smooch.
I did secure one many hours
Yeah.
after, but
I hope there was some consent there, because judging
naturally,
off of what you were just telling me, it's sounding a little scary now,
it's
but
fine because it wasn't when I dropped her off. It was she called me back after I dropped her off.
yeah.
Yeah, if you remember.
Mhm.
But I think
I
that's
do.
about all the time we have.
Yeah, man. I
Um,
mean, we had a good time in high school. Like I said, we ran it. I feel like.
Honestly, like I don't think we weren't like popular per se. Well,
Mhm.
but we definitely weren't like made fun of.
But we definitely were the stars of the show that was high school.
Yeah, I honestly, definitely the not in the jock crowd, but definitely the comedic relief
Mhm.
that you'd have in your coming of age high
Yeah.
school movie. Um,
And like you said in the chat, ADOT, we mentioned at the beginning, but yeah, no, I mean, high school, not everybody appreciated it or had
mhm.
as good of a time as we did. I think we made a joke out of it.
Oh yeah, it's really just turned into one big like meme fest. So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I had a blast, and honestly, that's like I only have fond memories from high school. Even the cringe ones that I really enjoy laughing about now are
Yeah.
a beautiful
I mean,
thing.
that's what made it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Next week we're gonna have a guest on for sure. Not too
Mhm.
sure who it
Special
is.
guest.
Special guest. It's gonna be a good one. So make sure to tune in. It will be back on Tuesday most likely, right, Jake?
Yeah.
But
Tuesday sounds
you can
great.
always follow us on Instagram at Jake and Josh Fridays if you want to get the
Mhm.
latest updates.
Yep. And if you didn't catch the entire show, this will be up in full on YouTube on our channel, Jake and Josh.
Should be up there like
So
tomorrow, probably.
yeah, so make sure you watch if you didn't watch the whole thing.
Right, Jake
Thank you.
Poppy?
We had peak. Yep, we
My
reached your peak viewership today.
Yeah,
So I
15.
mean, we're only going up
Maybe next week I'll have a
60.
sub button. Who knows? We'll have to
Uh
see.
huh. Yeah,
Always
that'd
looking
be
forward
great.
to it. But thanks everybody for coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It was a good one. Thank you
have a
guys.
happy Tuesday. All right, bye y'all.
Yes.